Entertainment is a very strong tool that can move minds without physical touch. With this, I mean, people are easily influenced through entertainment, and this explains why entertainers are used as a tool during politics. Hello and welcome to Showtime with me, Aisha. Today we'll be discussing the role of entertainers in politics, and I have with me Mr. Victor Dixon. You're welcome on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right. We'll be discussing, like I said, we'll be discussing the role of entertainers in politics. So, Mr. Dixon, who is an entertainer?
Yeah, entertainment simply means the industry of attention. The whole keyword about entertainment is about attention. How do you make people to stay glued to a screen? How do you make people to listen to you? And there are different channels you use to do that. Sometimes you can use the channels of singing, right? So at that point, you're dealing with the writings of songs, you know, as a musician. Perhaps also you're a dramatist, an actor, for which you help to interpret stories, you know, and interpret meanings. And sometimes also you're into design. Design is also captured as part of entertainment. But the key word is that you are expressing, you're communicating, and for the sole reason of connection. That's the key word. The sole reason of connection. So everyone who is into the entertainment industry is seeking to connect. Because the whole idea is that when you connect with people, it's like you have influence. When you connect with people, you can reach out to them. When you connect to people, you get some level of power. When you connect to people, you can be able to even help improve their life. And most people don't even realize that one of the core purposes of entertainment is education. Because the whole idea is that I want to talk to you, but you won't listen to me. So what do? I give you a reason of attention, and then you listen to me. That is why you see most times entertainers are signed up for brands. Because brands want to talk to you, but you don't want to listen. So they pick someone you like to talk to you, and then you listen to them. So in terms of education, it's the same thing too. When you want to provide some level of propaganda, you want to provide some level of education, anything that has to do with helping the people, you know, connecting with the people, you use the, you know, the channel of entertainment. And that's why it's very, very wide and very, very broad. Now, but most times people fall into the trap of thinking entertainers are only those who are before the camera. No, there are also those behind the camera. Because to create a personality that people will like is a workload of so many sets of people. Different professions are coming on board. So when everyone comes together, they can create a face, you know, but there are a lot of persons behind that face. So you see a star, there is a manager behind the star. You see a star, there is a makeup artist behind the star. You see a star, there is a fashion designer behind the star. So if you don't understand this entire scope of what makes entertainment, you fall into the trap of saying an artist is an entertainer. But it's not the artist that is an entertainer. The entertainer is an industry that is very wide with a huge value chain. But most times, they celebrate only those before the screen.
Okay. So what are the roles of entertainers in the society?
Yeah, entertainers have played a very, very big role. Over the years, like I said, it's the core thing is attention. So the idea is that anybody who can get attention, you can educate. Anybody who can get the attention, you can influence. In fact, as a matter of fact, there's a level it gets to that anybody who get the attention, you may even control. So you understand. So the work of entertainer most time is that they are like the medium for which they educate the people about the challenges of the society. For instance, it's like you have filmmakers, you know, the actors and the actresses you see. What do they act? They act on the issues of the society. Now, this is where most of the challenge is. Most entertainers don't understand their role enough to know that they are the educators of the society. Before now, they call them groits, storytellers. That is in the traditional African society, where you have people who tell you stories. And what was the purpose of those stories? Those groits are the one who tell the history of the community. They're the one who tell children. You remember storytelling time, where you use people like the tortoise, you know, symbols like the tortoise and the rest to tell story. What was it for? For education of children, for education of morality, to be able to educate and let people understand what the whole society is all about. So the work of entertainers originally is actually to educate. The core work, at any way, if you spread it across all, the key work of an entertainer is to educate people, grab attention, and then educate people. But now, whether most entertainers understand that role and that power with them, I don't know. Because most times they are carried away with the influence, with the popularity, but not with the purpose of influence and popularity, because the big question for all entertainers has always been this: now you have influence, now you have popularity, what are you going to do with it?
Okay, well, all right. So what can you say is the role of entertainers in politics?
Yeah, it is everything. It's everything. I think you have to, let's look at it from the two part of it before we blend them, because it's just blended them. One, we've discussed entertainment, right? Now the second one is politics. Originally, what is politics? Politics is the process of choosing the people that will govern a people. The process of choosing the people that will govern a people. So which means it's a very important process. Every individual must pay attention to politics, because this is the challenge most third world countries have, like even countries for which, like developing countries in Africa have, is we don't pay attention to the quality of leadership of the person that will become your president, your governor, your councillor, and the rest of them. You don't pay attention through the process. It is when the person gets into the office, you start complaining this person don't know how to communicate. You start complaining this person know how to connect with people. But we were supposed to know before the person gets to that point. So the entire concept of politics is supposed to be is a process of selecting the people. That's when you market yourself to the community. You market yourself to the nation. You market your ideology. And people get to understand that. Then they say, oh, this person has a better quality, a better capacity to get into that. Now, this is where entertainment comes in. For you to market yourself, you need connection, you need attention. So this is where you bring entertainers on board and tell entertainers, come help me market me. So for instance, you have an entertainer or an artist already has gathered close to, say, let's use the Funke Akindele concept principle, 20 million people. So it means that you have 20 million people that can listen to her. If she posts on Instagram, these are the kind of people that will listen. Look at the number on social media, for instance, that they will listen. So if you want to market to 20 million people, what will you do? You need someone like her to come on board and promote what you have. Promote your values, promote your capacity, and then build your visions and your ideologies for the nation. So it plays a very big role on that. But then also there's another part you need to understand about entertainment and politics, is that most people you see in entertainment originally want to enter into politics, but most people don't know that. As I'm into managing artists. And so sometimes you sit down with artists, you start asking them, what's your big time plan? I mean your 15, 20 years plan. And then they will tell you, I need to gather some level of popularity, because before I enter either into governorship, into a particular role. But if I go straight, nobody knows me. Do you understand? Or maybe the political process I want to go might not even allow me to climb. So what's the best way to go? Let me go do entertainment. I love
that aspect of what you just said. So let me we'll continue.
Okay, so no problem.
So how do you translate the fan base of an entertainer to his credibility as a politician?
Now, first of all, it depends on the quality of the fan base. There are people, it's like relationship. There are people that you're high, you don't have issues. It's like from afar, hello, everybody goes their way. But when they come closer, it's like, calm down. So it's a game of trust to say, I like this person can make me laugh. This person can make me busy. But can I entrust my life to the same person? Two different, at that level, the thing changes. There are comedians you see today that most people are happy about. It keeps you busy. You can laugh your head off, roll on the ground. But the question is that, do you want to commit the destiny of your life, your family, and your children to that same comedian? At that point, is no. Yeah. You see, that's where the quarrel. So oftentimes, most entertainers make the mistake of thinking that because they have a large fan of people that like them, that same fan mean they can trust them enough to be able to give them the rights to govern them. Two different things. And this is where most entertainers make the mistake of thinking people who like me are the same people who believe in me. Two different. So this is usually where the challenge is that. So a point comes that at the point of decision making, that question will start. It's that point of decision I make, okay, I like this person. I like her films. I like her programs. But it's my life for 4 years. Do you imagine? 4 years. I'll just allow this person to take decision. I don't think this person have the capacity. So at that point, it changes. It is this dynamics of numbers that people really don't know. So that's why some make the mistake of thinking popularity is the same with trust. No. It is when you enter into the field, you realize that you can be popular, but people don't trust you. Two different things.
Okay. So do you think entertainers risk a lot by going into politics? Because in one way or the other, they may offend some of their fans who don't share the same ideology.
Well, you have to go very philosophical to understand that question you're asking. Reason being that the question is this: is there a point in life of any human being that you just have to be neutral? That's a question you have to first ask. The only people that have been given that capacity to some extent are actually media personnel, especially those who do media, because they have to be open to a wide variety of people. For example, in the political era, as a station, if this person bring advert, you collect. And not necessarily because you believe in them, but it's just like a duty that comes with the profession, that you have to be objective. Now, as an entertainer, back down that with an entertainer, a point come during election period that you know it's a game of 4 years of your life. Who take that decision will affect you. So the question now is, at that point, you start asking yourself, do you want to be neutral? Almost impossible for an entertainer to be neutral. So that means a difficult situation.
An entertainer can't be non-partisan.
No, you really, okay, you have to understand the context. The issue is that it's like being in the studio as a presenter. Do you have plans? Do you have belief on who you want to come on board? You have. But your profession says, right, be objective. Is that not? So as an entertainer, a point comes that you want to believe. Do you want to be neutral, or do you want to be actively involved in the process? At the point you want to be actively involved in the process, people are looking up to you. They expect that you're a leader, right? They expect you're a person of influence. They expect that you're intelligent enough, you are at a place where you can help them make a choice. That's what is expected of your fan base. You can't sit in neutrality. You must make a choice. And that choice will not favor everybody. That's why you have to make a choice based on your convictions. Where most of them make the mistake, I think, is that they make the mistake based on patronage. Who pays me the best money? So you collect the money, you sing, you praise, you endorse the person. Then the person wins and the person does a bad job. What do you think happens? Something has gone wrong, right? So it's a game of conviction, of a point of who is the best person that's supposed to enter into this field. Then you take your choice. Then, like I told you earlier on, don't forget that some entertainers originally from beginning had politics in mind. So don't think that they changed. No, they had politics in mind, but they wanted to gather popularity. So if opportunity comes to join politics, you think they will not join? They will join. And then you need to understand this. When you enter into politics and you start dealing with people, you realize that entertainers are dealing with people's emotions. But when you enter into politics, you are now dealing with people, not only their emotions, on their life, their education and everything. Sometimes when you get close, that is sweeter in terms of power. So oftentimes when they test this part, they can tell the other part, wait, let me move down here. Because if you trace down and come back, let's go to the global scene and then come down to Nigeria.
Okay, it's a really interesting topic here. But let's take a very quick break, and when we return, the show continues. Welcome back. Before we went on a very quick break, we were discussing the role of entertainers in politics, and I still have here Mr. Victor.
If we want to even trace it, let's take presently the president of Ukraine was an entertainer. Right now, he has entered, and he has been fighting war from the day he entered. Do you understand? So at that point, you get to realize that governance, the process of governance, requires so much of time, energy, and attention. And you can't chase two rabbits at the same time. A point comes that you must have a place of focus. So if you have a place that's taking so much of your time, your energy, and resources, you just have to make a choice. You have to decide, do I drop it and go back to entertainment, or do I leave entertainment and just improve my life from here? Usually, these are the choices people need to make.
So now you're saying an entertainer has to, entertainment and politics doesn't go hand in hand. You have to drop one to go for another.
Okay, I'll ask you a question.
I'm actually saying this because I've had a lot of conversations with big entertainers who happen to go into politics, and after a while they say, no, I'm done with entertainment. It's now politics now. Okay,
let me give you a perfect example. One of the guys, we'll close a little bit sometime, like Desmond Elliott, for instance. You know him. He was one of the most popular, film actors, and you know what happened this period, the challenges of everything. At the point he entered into active politics, he tried Then he was still on a particular group of, motion picture practitioner. He tried to keep acting. But after a while, he realized that the burden of constituency visits, discussion, and the rest of them was a problem. So he let it go. Do you understand? That's what I'm saying. The whole thing is a game of attention and focus. Each of them requires so much of your attention. There are a lot of meetings. Okay, if you're in entertainment world, there's a lot of rehearsals. There's a lot of business meeting, contract discussion, shoot. All of them are happening. Sometimes 24 hours. It's taking all the time of the world. And here you are in politics, which also require attention, meeting, discussion upon. So one way or the other, it's one person we're dealing here. So you need to make a choice. I think most times the challenge is that very few people have been able to clarify their identity. Where do I want to play? The game is this. If you don't want to enter into politics, don't enter into politics. If you want to do media, do media. But if you keep playing that too, after a while, you will suffer for it. Because take, for instance, when you're singing, for instance, you have a wide range of people who listen to your song. They might not believe on your religion. They might not even believe on your class, your ethnicity. They don't have issue with that. What they know is that they like your rhythm. They like the way you write. So they take your song and they leave you alone. But you enter into politics, they take it more personal. That look, we don't like this thing you're doing in this particular party.
They start digging.
They start digging things. In fact, I have a principle I always tell people, don't tell me anything new about anybody if the person comes for politics. Because you knew all these things before. You didn't say anything. Immediately the person comes to politics, that's when they will remind you what this person did in 1432. And you wonder, do you understand? So these are the things you need to sit and ask yourself. Either as an entertainer, am I ready for it? If you're not ready for it, why go into it? It's a game of choice for me. Some will decide, okay, I have a plan. I'll start with entertainment. After some time, I'll do my transition. If you listen to Funke, for instance, at the point they asked her, look, what's your problem? You're comfortable in entertainment world. Why are you switching to this? And I remember what she said. Whatever happened, at the end, but her comment was that, I have been in the entertainment world, and I think I've helped people, across board. I've been doing productions for a very long time. I think I want to help people on a bigger scale. You hear the language, on a bigger scale. Meaning whatever I've been doing with all my acting, production, and the rest, I believe I'm helping people. But now I'm going to a place where policy decisions will be making, where they are deliberating, how do we pass laws that will favor entertainment. At that level, I think I can do more. So for that reason, I want to go to that level. So these are the conditions people think. So if you don't have a reason to go in for a bigger, because look, politics is more demanding. Entertainment, you drop your work connects with people and people celebrate you. But you see, when it comes to politics, they scrutinize you. Everything you do, people scrutinize you. Things you can do and go scot-free before, except somebody wants to trend it on entertainment level and make money out of it, fine. But in politics, it's not about trending. Everybody's interested in you. You say the wrong thing, they go after you. You wear the wrong clothes, they go after you. You sit down with the wrong person, they go after you. Anyhow you go. So if you're not ready to enter that field, you make the transition. It's a challenging thing. So I think for me, it's about understanding both sides. Being in the field that I'm in the value chain. I'm in the front end and I'm in the back end.
I love what you said, because I think these are some of the mistakes some of our entertainers make. They are not ready. They just go into it feeling, oh yeah, I have the fan base, and okay, I have the capacity because I have the fans.
So let me just jump into it.
They don't really know that it's a very tedious decision for them to make.
Have you tested crowd love before? You've not tested. I have tested it. You don't know what it is. It's like drugs. You don't know what it is, you come out and people are like, you know, that kind of thing. And people are like,
some people will faint. I just met Aisha.
Thank you. You don't know what it is. So sometimes you're not careful, the thing will, you enter, you start feeling like a demigod. So you just feel anything I do is okay. It will succeed. People will accept me. So there's that illusion of I'm generally accepted, because people celebrate you at that level. That is where I think the mistakes are made. And that's why the best entertainers, go check, they have the best of managers who sit them down and educate them on this. If you check out what happened in the election, you notice like someone like Brimo had one of the most difficult seasons this period. To the point, remember when they were doing signing, that they should stop Bremo from attending either one of these musical competitions. Yeah. That's to tell you how delicate this thing can become. It can be very, very delicate. For him, I had a crowd, so I could say anything. And eventually, the thing was an issue. If you sit down and check the A artists, most of the biggest leading artists, go check in Nigeria, who are doing very well globally, didn't speak much during this election. Go check. And do you know why? They had professionals at the background who tell them everything you say, this is the meaning. So don't say anything. Keep quiet. Stay here. But some didn't have the managers to sit them down and say, come, we know how you feel. But you see this thing, that's how they normally do it. It's not yet time. You've not prepared. And even if you want to say, arrange it very well. Can you remember the challenge with Ketenshaw? When there was a political party that said something, Ketenshaw responded as the PRO of Actors Guild of Nigeria. You remember how crazy the thing was? That's what I'm saying. Because people tend to understand this is a big industry. It comes with different policies, principles, perceptions. There are a lot of things that comes with it. So if you don't have people who sit you down and guide you properly on how you do it, you carry the illusion of popularity and jump and enter politics. People can forgive you, do your lyrics, but they won't forgive you to come and govern them. It's a different ballgame.
So what do you think entertainers should or shouldn't do during politics to create balance? I'm talking about entertainers that are being used as a tool right now.
First of all, I think first follow conviction. Conviction, because the truth of the matter is that if you stand on the truth, even if people insult you, you're standing on the truth, right? And if you stand on the truth, even they finish after they're done insulting you, after a while, they will see what you were saying. So they'll get to realize that it wasn't a beef. It wasn't an issue. The bottom line is that I know as a human being, this wasn't proper. So stand on that. Then the second thing is build capacity. You see, we are in what they call a volatile system. People can be angry, they leave home, and they come and sit in front of the, what do you call it? Their social media. So there are things, if you say wrongly,
you have already triggered everything.
You have triggered something. So there's an issue. So there's a need to have people who guide, and that is where the role of capacity comes. You know, if you know my kind of work, I'm consistently in the media and entertainment one, always advocating for capacity. Build capacity so that you understand what to say, how to say it at the time to say it. Even if you want to make transition, there's a process of how transitions are made, and it still work well. This thing, there's a proper way of doing it. If you do it properly, it's not an issue. For example, if you have stayed for like 10 years in entertainment field and you tell people, look, I have done so well in educating you, entertaining you, but for now, I want to be involved in the policy of how the state or even the business is doing. At that point, let me say this. A lot of people know that in the entertainment world, there's a lot of funding, finance that are necessary, capacity, government support, all of those. You may want to tell me that today, if someone comes out and say, look, I am done with the screen. I want to go to the National Assembly and be your face and your voice so that I can argue this thing out. Do you think that general entertainers are not going to say, look, let's push this one out? But you need to communicate it. We don't just wake up morning, I'll see you there. No. Communicate it. Let people understand this is what I want to do. Then they will respect your visions. And if they think you have the capacity, then they are going to support me. So capacity is key.
Okay.
It's key.
So in one word now, do you think an entertainer can be president of Nigeria?
Yes, yes. Entertainer is a human being. Entertainer is intelligent. Entertainer is creative. Entertainer to sit down and create something from nothing, from the mind, to be able to connect with millions of people, tells you someone that can birth an idea. So anybody that can birth an idea can become a president with the support of others working with them. So look forward to that.
It's been an interesting conversation with you, Victor.
Thank you so much, Aisha.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, viewers, you've heard it all from Victor, and I must say it has been a very interesting discussion. Please do well to join us same time next week, and remember, as an entertainer, always promote the right message through your craft. Bye.